good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? We got to be on best behaviour tonight. As you can see, the lovely Amanda is with me today.
You need to be on best behaviour.
I need to be on best behaviour, otherwise I get told off. And she's already threatened to sound me several times today anyway. Now, coming up today, we're going to find out what I've been up to over this last few days since the last live show last Sunday. A lot to talk about there. Then we want to be talking about composting techniques and things like that, just to get a few ideas and sharing stuff out there, out and about. But before that, let's have a quick look and see if anybody is actually watching. Hopefully you can hear me good and loud as well, because I know that can sometimes be a problem. Right, first of all, we got Oracle with Hello Veg Grower Army. Hello to you. Ballycillian, hi Oracle. They're having a bit of a conversation there. They were here nice and early, as always. Evening, Richard, and hi, Hannibal. And one day I'm going to have a bit of a laugh and a joke with that. Who else have we got? Philly SBB, hi, everyone in the army. Hope you all had a brilliant week. Scroll down. Lots. Oh, Turbo Stream has joined. Good evening to you. Adrian has joined. Hello to you. Richard Golden has joined. Hello to you. Something I saw. Where's it gone? From Turbo Stream. Turbo Stream is just signaling in with a cup in the Veg Grower Army mug that arrived this week. I'm glad it arrived. Hope you're happy with it, because we had a lot of fun making those, didn't we?
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Who else have we got? Ian Beddoes has joined. Good evening to you. Adrian is saying hello to you.
Hello.
Beatrice has joined. Good evening to you. Hope you are well. Rebecca Hawkins has joined. Good evening. Hope you're well. Lovely to see you. I met Rebecca the other day, actually, but we'll get into that in a moment. Digwell Greenfingers is lurking, editing a video in the background. We do not have his undivided attention, but we'll let that go, because it hopefully is going to be a good video.
Does this mean that I can do the same?
No.
Oh.
You're on target.
Okay.
Alison O'Brien, hello to you. Hope you are well, and I think we've caught up. Keep your comments coming. If you want to call in, the phone line will be open, or the phone line is open. Let's bring that up. The number's running across the bit on the bottom of the screen, but 07307135174 if you want to call in, or if you want to, which one is it? Zap yourself in. The link is in the Facebook page and the YouTube channel comments. If you're watching in the Facebook group, just to say, I may not see who you are, so just let me know your name at the end of a comment. Right, let's get through what I've been up to over this last week. I'm going to do this in reverse order, but starting with today, going back to last week. Today, what did I do today? Went down the allotment earlier. I've been covering over a lot of the empty beds and empty spaces with cardboard or weed suppressor membrane, and filling up with pots of squash plants that I have all over the place. Yesterday, had a day at home out in the garden. Had a text from my brother-in-law who wanted to bring my nieces around because they wanted to do some gardening. So we did that in the morning, and then in the afternoon and throughout the week, I've been shredding some of our willow tree branches that I cut down from a willow tree last week, which you're not overly happy about. I took a lot of permission to get permission from her to cut down this tree, but we got there in the end. And then going back further, Thursday, had a great day. I went to Gardener's World Live, and that's where I saw Rebecca. You didn't come to that, did you?
No, I got a day off.
You got a day off
from you,
but and funny enough, Ian Beddoes is just saying, did Amanda go to the show with you? And if so, what did she think? No, she didn't go. She had to work, but I went on my own. Had a great day. I've got to say, it was a great show. A lot smaller than the normal Gardener's World live show. Probably on par, maybe a bit bigger than the one we went to in Bewley a few months back. Mainly, it was good to see everybody again. I don't know if he's watching at the moment, Nigel or Muddy Boots. I met up with him, Rebecca. I met up with Lisa, Mary, and I cannot pronounce her surname because it's Greek. She was there. She had a show garden. I saw Neil from Veggie Pod. I saw lots of people, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And great to stop and have a chat with everyone. Haven't seen many of these for nearly 2 years. So, yeah, it was good to catch up. Really enjoyed chatting to Lucy and Saul as well, because they had some really exciting news to share with us, which isn't any of my business. So I'm not going to share that. What did I buy? Well,
What did you
what
buy?
did I buy?
Mm.
Well, I felt I needed some plants, and they didn't have much in the way of veg plants there. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. But it is almost like an autumn show, so you're not going to get much in the way of veg plants, to be realistic. But I did buy a couple of Venus flytraps in order to go in my greenhouses and eat some of the flies that might fly around in there. I didn't actually buy this, but I was going to. I was given a bag of mulch, like Strolch, which I'm going to test out and see how it gets on. I interviewed the bloke for the podcast, and he just said, "Here, have a go."
And what else did you buy?
What else did I buy? Let me see, because I've had this dilemma for a while.
This is amazing.
And I've been after a pair of weddy boots that are easy to get on and easy to get off. And to add some sort of background, I'm a size 12 shoe. So they're pretty big. And I think Richard Golding, who's in the group, he shared about some muck boots with the neoprene topper, which I liked the idea of. They were a lot of money, but unfortunately he didn't sell them at the show. But what I did see was this pair. I'm going to have to, let's switch camera to show you just how the size of it there.
They're Santa's boots.
They're like Santa's boots. Being size 12, they're obviously going to be pretty big. I mean, if I compare this to my head, just to give you some sort of idea.
You do realise that at Christmas they're going by the side of the fire and we're going to fill them like stockings.
No, but I'll be wearing them down the allotment.
No, they're going to be used at Christmas.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I ended up buying. A pair of those, but they're really light. I really like these. These socks come out, but they're really light. These are as light as a very light pair of trainers, I would say.
But I wore them yesterday, and considering that my feet are half the size of yours, I can actually walk in them.
Yeah, nice, sturdy, and what have you. So yeah, that's what I ended up buying. Who else did I? There's some weird noise going on alongside. I think next door are probably having a barbecue or something.
It sounded like thunder.
Yeah. What else? That's all I ended up coming back with, I think.
Yeah,
I bought some scampi and chips when I was there for lunch. No, I didn't take anything with me. But yeah, I had a really good day. Saw a few of the talks that were going on. I had a look around the show gardens and just loved it. Just loved being out and about and enjoying myself again. So that's what I've been up to over this week. Let me know what you've been up to in the comments, and we'll go through those quickly and just see what everyone's saying. So Turbo Stream, this week I have mainly been in my home garden, cutting back shrubs and mulching to make it more low maintenance. Fantastic. Yeah, the low maintenance is all the thing at the moment that I'm lending myself more and more to. Turbo Stream, on the plot, I've been mostly trimming and tidying up. So, Ian Beddoes, have you got me a VeggiePod discount voucher yet? Not yet, but I've spoken to Neil. A little bit of a secret, actually. Neil invited me to, who is VeggiePod, invited me to the after show party, which is meant to be for exhibitors. I don't know if I should be saying this, but he invited me to that. So don't worry, I'm gonna have a word with them. I know you after one, and I think they'll be happy to deal with you. Anna Jones has joined. Hello, gardeners. Hello to you. Hope you are well. Alison, yes, thanks. I hope you are. Oh, sorry. Good boy from Richard Golden about the boots, because he was on about these muck boots, which look awesome, but they're very, very pricey in some ways. So I'm going to be interested to see how my ones pair up.
If not, we're going to use them for planting, because I reckon you could get a really nice plant in there.
Yeah, true. Lee Terence Connolly, hello to you. Hope you are well. Size 12, Richard. Yes, size 12. You know what I say about people with big feet? They need big shoes. It's definitely the case. It's actually very difficult, believe it or not, going in when we go shopping and I need to buy it. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
Thank God for something that begins with A, sending them to us.
Yes, yeah. Idaho has been pulling weeds, sowing lettuce and planting out some brassicas. It's been busy. Robert Bale said, I've been watching contractors mow my lawns. We'll need doing again soon.
I like that idea of mowing a lawn.
I do enjoy mowing the lawn. I'll be sad when our lawn goes. You don't know about that yet. Beatrice has been clearing all the rubbish left by the last plot holder. That always annoys me when, it's the same at work when the previous engineers leave stuff behind. She's laughing at me because she knows I'm a messy bugger, but yeah, I get annoyed when people leave rubbish behind because there's no need for it. Absolutely no need for it.
But I reckon at work you're very tidy. You take all your stuff away.
I take all my stuff away. Yeah, that's why it ends up back in the house.
Yeah, I thought so.
Adrian has topped 2 fields and streamed lots of stinging nettles. Busy on the farm there.
I've met a lot of stinging nettles this week.
This weekend has been cutting the 60-foot hedge in between drinking tea and coffee. Busy then.
Is that cutting it down or just getting it back in shape?
Good question. Is that cutting it down or getting it back into shape? Steve has just joined. Evening, just got back from Wisley following hearing you there the other week. Had a full day there. Really good gardens, well worth a visit. Yeah, we enjoyed Wisley, didn't we? We went there when Lee was doing a talk there, and I think we've got to go back there again and probably spend a whole day there looking around.
Could we go back to the shop?
You can go back to the shop. I loved the edible food garden there. Really did enjoy that. Yeah, if anybody is in the area of being able to go visit Wisley, highly recommend it because it is a fantastic garden.
It's just missing some ruins or some follies to really bring out the foliage.
There might be some there, but we didn't see them.
No.
We didn't see them. Right, so what we want to talk about tonight is composting. Now, this is something... Oh, do we do the food first? No, we'll do composting. This is something that I think somebody asked for a few tips and stuff on already, and we thought we'd go through it this week. And now, like I did last week, I've recorded some videos in advance to play in with my tips, and I'm hoping these are going to start to make sense as we go on. Shall we go into the first one? Well, seeing as today we are discussing composting and composting techniques, I think the first place we're going to start with today is where to make your compost. Now, of course, all our compost material could be just stacked in a pile in the middle of a garden or somewhere. That will work, but I think that's a bit unsightly. So what I have down on the allotment, I've got several bins made out of pallets in the standard U shape or bolted together with lots of extra wood to make a nice uniform looking bin. They work fantastic. Bit short-lived, but they do their job. Back at home, where I am now, I've got the standard Dalek style compost bins. Now I think these are great for garden waste. They hold onto the heat better than anything else. They look okay, although when you get a lot of them like I have, I think they start to look a bit unsightly. Now, those two are great for garden waste, but for my kitchen waste, the stuff that comes out of my kitchen, the scraps, I want something that rodents or vermin aren't going to be able to access. So for that, I've got my wormery. Now, the wormery is great because it uses worms, it eats up all that kitchen waste. They produce wormweed, which is a fantastic plant fertilizer, and it produces compost. But then I also have my sub pod, which is what I'm sat on right now. Now, I love the sub pod. You've heard me say it on the podcast, no doubt. It is fantastic for kitchen scraps because rodents or vermin cannot get into it, which is what I've been using it for mostly lately. But in the future, I'm looking to get more sub pods and start putting my garden waste into these as well. So there we go. That's 5 ways to use, or 5 compost storage tips that I use myself or I can think of off the top of my head. Over to you. Let us know what your methods would be. So there we go. That is the compost bins that I use. I've got my ones on the allotment are looking a little bit worse for wear and in desperate need of some refurbishment, which we might do at some point. I might do at some point. But yeah, we as in me, as in the royal we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which basically means me. But yeah, definitely in need of repair. But I mean, at home for my garden waste, I find Daleks are good, but I've got about 4 of them now, and I don't know. Dalek style bins, 4 of them. But I just find that with the water butts along that side just looks a bit naff. Just looks a bit too much plasticky.
Well, we could put a nice bush in front of it. I've got an idea for one.
But that's not going to work because I need access to all of them.
No, in front of it, and then it just hides it from the rest of the garden.
Well, what I did when I built this shed is I've hidden some of the water butts behind this shed, which actually did help tidy things up a bit better. But as Idaho Garden Girl is saying, is that a sub pod? Yes, it is a sub pod, as in subterranean composting system. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I've got to say, I mean, it's just a plastic container that goes in the ground, in all honesty, but it works a lot better. It tidies things up, I feel. I throw a lot of our kitchen waste in it, which I'm expecting her to hit me about at some point.
Is that where it goes?
That's where it goes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been having a discussion because she doesn't know where it goes, and I sometimes forget to put it out, and it builds up and builds up. But yeah, subpod. That's eventually what I think I will be having just in my garden at home, as somewhere to store all my compost bin, to make all the compost, just because I like the fact that it hides under the soil and it's discreet.
Is it not going to need to be gigantic at this rate?
No, we get several of them.
Oh, of course.
Several of them. And also they double up as a seat. I quite often sit there recording a podcast, or have a cup of coffee sometimes. And I've actually seen people use them around a table where they got 2 on each side of the table. And they're sitting around having a barbecue sort of thing.
On a veranda, now that
On a
would
veranda.
work, but we don't have a veranda yet.
No, we don't. So just quickly back to the comments. Let us know what you use for what you compost in. Lee is saying it's a great place for. Oh, we have a caller. Could you answer that? Slide it to answer. Oh. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
It's Fiorino.
Hello, how are you?
How's the 2 years keeping?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Unfortunately, Amanda can't hear you because I've only got 1 set of headphones.
You're not very organised today here, Richard Ramonda.
It's more I don't have the technology, or haven't figured out the technology to have several headphones just yet out here.
Just phoning in anyway about this composting.
Yeah.
In our site, we had terrible problems with the rats in the composter. They actually had a hang at the top of the site, made out of wire.
Yeah.
And what they found was the rats were just breeding in it constantly. See, when they actually came in to take it away, it was like, you want to see the rats from the here?
Yeah.
And you see when you're talking about them Dollar Kings?
Yeah.
See how you want to had them? The rats just dug underneath and went up inside them and bred too.
Yeah.
What I actually have is, do you know your black bin you would have at the house?
Yeah.
That's what I'm using as a composter.
Yeah, I think if rats are a problem, what you can do with those black duck bins as well is put some like chicken wire underneath to stop the rats getting in. But that's why I don't put kitchen waste into those black bins. That's why I prefer them in like the wormery or the sub pod, because there's no way for rats to get into it.
That's what I was going to say. This.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear that. Are you there?
No,
oh, he's gone.
The call's ended.
Oh, he's gone. He disappeared. Don't know what happened there. Sorry. Just suddenly cut out there. But yeah, the rats getting into compost bins is actually quite a big problem. I know we get rats on the allotment all the time, but I don't mind it so much on the allotment. I'm more worried about them being at home, which thankfully we don't get. But that's because we've taken steps to prevent that from happening. You were asking about Turbo Stream's shed head shape was cutting down. It says get it back into shape.
He sounds like he's got ivy like us. I mean, obviously he hasn't, but it does grow.
Yeah. Now Turbo Stream's also saying that he uses World War II Anderson shelters for the compost bays. She would love an Anderson shelter at home.
Would. Yeah, if anyone's got a spare one, I love it.
When I use pallets, they worked very well initially, but quickly got very tatty. Yeah. Excuse me.
What?
For composting, we'll be using pallets. So you take 3 pallets and make them into a U shape, then use that to put all your compost waste in.
Oh, with you now. Sorry.
They do get tatty quite quickly. You can paint them, of course, and that does tidy them up. But that's what I also found. They get tatty. I don't mind that on an allotment, but at home, it's got to be a bit tidier. I've been filling my compost bays with leaves and grass that get dropped off at the bottom gate on the plot. I'm on a mission to make as much as I can for next year. Yeah, we always are. Absolutely are. Always trying to make as much compost. Rebecca, I know what you mean. I've screened mine off with bamboo trellis. Nice little area now. Yeah, a dedicated compost area just screened off. What?
We could use army nets over it.
Army nets, that's something. Possibly.
Oh, I'm liking the idea of that camo. Yeah.
She loves that camo. I know. I currently have a compost tumbler, but I'm not really sold on it. I got the tumbler because I wanted to keep the rodents out. So maybe a subpod or several will do the trick.
What is a tumbler?
So a tumbler is like a giant compost bin that's up in the air and on a hinge, and it's not in contact with the ground.
And then it spins.
You put stuff in it, and you spin it, and it allows plenty of air to circulate. It gets all the stuff mixed up nicely. It's meant to work, and it's meant to be very fast for composting, but I think they can be quite expensive. I also think they take up quite a bit of space as well, because they're probably as big as a hammock type thing. So for me, I think.
Can you get a subpod internationally, or is it just a British thing?
No, they're from Australia. Sorry, so they are available in most places, I believe.
So Australia is quite up and coming in gardening then, because obviously they've got the veggie pod and the subpod thing. Yeah,
I'm always watching what's coming out of Australia, because they've got some really interesting ideas. Obviously, they do a lot with droughts and things as well, so they really do think about it. Turbo Stream had one of those compost tumblers, and he uses it as a storage bin now. Beatrice, has anyone used a hot bin composter? Wondering if they are worth the money. Oh, go for it. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, it's Lee Connolly from I was going to say Essex, but everyone knows I'm from Colchester, so Colchester.
Colchester, Essex. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
I'm good. Well, we're talking about composting, but we've just had a question come in for Beatrice, which you might be able to help us with.
Yeah, go on.
Have you used a hot bin composter?
That's exactly what I was about to call in about.
There we go. You could not have timed it any better.
A hot bin, mate, apparently it's called the Ferrari of composters.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't sell them, and I think that makes it sound like I'm some sort of salesman, but they are so easy to use.
Yeah.
Composting's easy anyway, but these things pack up.
So for everybody who hasn't heard for a hot bin composter, what is it?
It's basic. Right, here we go. It's a black box that's sort of insulated with I don't know how it's like. What would you call it? Like polystyrene?
It looks like styrofoam, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not a very big thing, but it works an absolute treat.
Yeah.
Get some good stuff from it, mate. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And loads of worms in it. Like worms love it in there.
Yeah. Well, I've never had one myself. I interviewed the manufacturers of it a couple of years ago now, if I remember correctly. Do you think they're worth the money? That's what Beatrice is asking.
I don't know. When I had mine, it was about 180 quid. I've got to be honest. I was giving it. And depends how much you can do. compost those, didn't it?
Sorry, say that again. You broke up slightly there.
I said it depends how much you're really into.
How much we're into composting, yeah.
Yeah, depends how much, because you really you on it, wouldn't you?
I mean, you've got to be dedicated. It's a guess the same as the sub pod. They're not exactly cheap, but
Just sub pods.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
How much is sub pods?
Well, Idaho, I just saw a comment available in the USA for $199 plus shipping.
Okay.
I don't remember them being that much here in the UK, but I know at the moment everything's gone up in price for obvious reasons.
It's like, isn't it? You can like basically you can either spend 20 quid on one of them garlics, or maybe less. I've never bought one of them ones before. Or if you really want to delve deep and become an expert in it, then spend 180 quid.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Yeah. But
those are my thoughts.
No, well, that was perfectly timed. So thank you very much, my friend.
Anytime. Enjoying the show, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers, buddy.
See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Did Lee say it was made of styrofoam?
It's like a styrofoam. It's a lot harder than a styrofoam. We're actually getting.
I have a question then.
Go on.
That doesn't seem very environmentally friendly.
They last for quite a while. We're actually now at work having fridges made out of this. I called it styrofoam. It's not styrofoam at all. It's the easiest way to describe it. But they take quite a beating, and they last a lot longer. So.
Okay, that's better than the vision I had in my head.
Yeah. Steve is saying he has pallet bins and a wormery here. Have 2 pallet bins at the plot, which he swaps over each year. Wormery is good in the garden, doesn't smell or look bad. I totally agree with that. Plus, you get that liquid feed and fertilizer. The turbostream, my compost will mainly be leaf mold, as that is the most abundant material I can get hold of. I don't generate enough material to make enough heat in the pile. Well, actually, I've got a little thing coming up a bit later about that. Let's get through these comments and then I'll play in my next tip. Even in a small tiny garden, when we use this is with regards to the wormery, fit in any small tiny garden when we used to live in Brighton years ago. Yep, I agree with that. Yes, that is exactly what a tumbler is, but I don't get rain, so I have to water the thing.
Does Idaho Garden Girl live in Idaho?
Yes.
That explains the water thing then.
Yeah. Wheelie bin with small holes in the bottom works well, plus you can transport it. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. An old wheelie bin. Did you see our council next over paid something like £600 for one wheelie bin, and they bought 25 of them. And they wonder why they have no money.
No, but we do need a new bin, thinking about it.
Good point. Hello, Nigel. Anyway, nice to see you this evening. Lovely to see you the other day. Ballyslin has 8 of these wheelie bins in operation. I've done that one already. At £180, you could buy a lot of compost for that. And that's true. At that much money, even the sub pod or even a Dalek, you can probably buy a lot of compost for that price. What I like about...
You know what's in it.
We know what's in it, yeah. We know it's all organic. There's no weed killer or anything. But also I know we actually don't throw out much rubbish. We only throw about a bin bag a week, and sometimes it's not even that full because of all our kitchen waste is going into the wormery and into the sub pod. So there's that as well, and we don't have the green waste turn up at our place. Next doors does, but we don't. It all goes into compost. Idaho, but I have lots of chicken manure, bedding, and plant matter to get rid of somehow. Yeah, that's something we have to do, get rid of all the chicken waste as well. Jonathan Beluzik, your urbexing husband, as we call him. What about composting if you have no outside space? I live in a flat with no garden.
Very good.
So there is something called a bokashi bin. I've never tried them myself, but they go underneath your sink, and you can put your food waste into that. do something with it, and it can produce compost in a very quick time. So there's options.
Is it Japanese then?
It's a Japanese, yeah. I bet even the wormy would work if you haven't got much outdoor space, I should say. If you can get a balcony or something, a wormy is also just as good.
I don't think it's got a balcony.
No, I know. Yeah, they're talking about sheep poo there. Rebecca is saying, how much are wormeries? Somebody asked this the other day in it wasn't in the group actually, it was on the Facebook page. And the one I looked at from Amazon, which is the one I got, was about £80, but I didn't pay that much for it. We've had ours about 6 years. But you might have a look on Amazon. I think they're around £60 to £120, depending on what you want. But I would also say have a look in Facebook Marketplace, have a look on eBay. Sometimes people are getting rid of them for whatever reason, and you can pick them up quite cheaply. Or you can make one. Very easy to make if you know how. There's plenty of videos on YouTube if you want to check that out. Adrian is saying, Amanda, I hope you are doing lots of urbex. Yep.
Yeah, went out on Monday.
All day, yeah. Mick Poultney produces all of his composting round Dalek bins with chicken wire on the bottom, has filled all of his raised beds 26 foot long, 4 foot high, 4 foot wide. Yeah, Mick Poultney, otherwise known as the Compost King, who probably is better to tell us about this than anything else.
Dalek bins, it cracks me up.
Dalek bins. All right, should we get in with my next tip? Well, in this tip, what I want to say is that all your compostable material should be chopped up nice and finely. I've been shredding some of my large branches that I've been cutting down to get them nice and small. Used to use a lawnmower on it, but the shredder is much safer, shall we say. All my softer clippings, lawn clippings and plants that I've taken down, I throw those on the lawn and I run over those with a lawnmower for the same effect. Gets it all chopped up nice and small. Then when it goes in the compost bin, it heats up quicker, it produces compost quicker, and I believe it produces a much finer compost. So in my opinion, that's a tip that I've got to share with everybody. Get everything chopped up as small as you possibly can. Sorry, my button suddenly went slow there halfway through that, but from what I could tell, I think you got the idea of what I was saying, is that chopping everything up nice and small, and that's easy to do at home, because I run all the soft material over the lawnmower, as you saw there. The woodier material I now pop through a shredder, as in Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I know, I couldn't resist that. But I used to run over all of it with our lawnmower, which was a lot of work, to say the least. And we would get these, sometimes, you know, when you get a stone left in it, they would just go ping straight into our window or into our fence, which is always fun. I don't know how we never hurt anybody or hurt ourselves, or even the chickens,
or
with
smash the windows.
Or smash the windows. So, yeah, on the allotment, that's obviously a bit harder to do, chop everything down. I still have got a petrol lawnmower down on the allotment, but the engine is dying, and in fact, the bed is rusting away, that I'm pretty much at the point I'm deciding that petrol lawnmower is just going to go. I'm not going to hold on to it, and I'll probably have to take my battery-powered lawnmower that you saw in there down there a bit more often.
Which was not sponsored by that company. Not
sponsored by Ryobi, but I've talked about them quite a bit, as you saw in there. It's so small, it's so light, and does the job. So definitely chop them down is something that I found. What I found is that it causes the waste to heat up quicker, which means that and hotter. It gets very, very hot in there, actually, to the point if I went out there within the next couple of days and opened the lid off, there would be steam pouring out of it because it's just got so hot. Where was I going with that? And then it's easier to mix around, which is that comes up at the end. And when it is rotted down, it produces a much finer, crumbly compost. Even the big manufacturers, they will shred up all their waste in order to make it nice and small and make that compost really, really quite good. So Rebecca says, oh, that's a brilliant idea. I think that is actually to do with looking for the wormery on Marketplace or making one. I mean, I personally think everyone should have a wormery, especially when councils are trying to reduce the amount of waste that we produce. Mick Pulteney is the king of compost. Absolutely is. I mean, what that guy doesn't know about compost isn't worth knowing. Ian Meadows, you need to take Amanda to Eden Camp in Yorkshire. They have an Anderson shelter in an old prisoner of war camp. It's brilliant.
Ex-husband John, we're going to Yorkshire now.
Yeah.
Sorry, dear.
That's right. I have started chopping my allotment waste with a pair of hand shears. Gives me a good workout. That's one way around it. You could chop it with hand shears or even the old these things as well. It does give a good workout, which is why I like the lawnmower, because it doesn't. Well, you still get quite a good workout, but it does it quicker and better. Ian Meadows is saying, love that show. There you go. As does Ninja Turtle Link. There you go. I knew there was some way on her.
Oh god, we're all singing the theme tune in our head. We are.
I bet you. Turbo Stream would love a battery shredder. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can't say it without thinking of shredder now. Would love a I got to say, it would be good to get a battery shredder for the allotment or something like that. Down on the allotment. I mean, I've got to admit, it does. My shredder is something like 2.5 kilowatts, so it's a pretty powerful thing.
It needs to be,
and it does need to be. It does create quite a bit of noise, but it does the job. Even sometimes, if it gets a bit blocked up, it does trip out and stuff. So it does need to be quite powerful, and I'm not sure that necessarily a battery-powered shredder is going to quite be powerful enough to do that. But the technology is always moving forward, so who knows? Mick spends half of his life at the horse stables. LOL. Yeah, I have got to admit, I haven't been able to get any horse manure since the start of COVID, really.
You're not the only one.
No, I think a lot of people.
Jackie struggles with that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on or whether the horses are holding on to it or something, but our farms, I mean, we used to get a delivery of horse manure onto our allotment site, but we don't get as much at the moment, possibly because they're waiting for us all to put our hand in the pocket and pay our £5 subs, but which is something I've got to do. But yeah, horse manure, I'm looking at other types of manure. Obviously, we get chicken manure, like sheep manure, cow manure, anything like that. If I can lay my hands on it, I can try and throw it in there, in the composted material, to rot down even further. Jonathan Bluesick is packing his bag. Is a wormery just full of liquid, or do you get compost as well? No, you get compost as well. Good question. You get compost as well. My wormery, it's got 4 tiers. And the idea being that you fill up with the first tier with compost, and you put the second one, you start filling it up. By the time you've filled up all 4 tiers, the bottom tier should have rotted down to compost, and then you get this liquid that comes out and you drain it off. So yeah, you get 2 for 1. You get this beautiful, really quite good compost. It can be a bit smelly, but the compost is so good that I've noticed that plants tend to grow better in the kitchen waste compost than in the other compost. But you also get this liquid feed, which is great for feeding your plants. It's a good all-rounder. And best of all, it doesn't cost anything to produce. And I've got bottles and bottles of it that I'm literally at a point I'm trying to use it up just to get rid of it and make some space. Dad is saying battery shredder.
I think he means shredder.
Battery shredder.
Shred?
Yeah. Shred? I'm not sure. He probably hit the button before he meant to. Apparently the horse trade unions are holding back. Oh, I didn't read that before I brought it up, did I? Yeah, that might be. We say Osmark up here. No, yeah, you go. Yeah, okay. It's not about urbexing. Get rid of that. Do you water it down the worm juice? Yes. What I tend to do is I'll pour it in my watering can just like any other liquid water feed. So I'll probably do about a quarter of the can with this worm feed and then fill it right up with water. And I find that's enough. You do use it in quite strong, but because it's free, it's a waste material effectively. It's free, it's easy to use. Don't mind using more and more of it. Well, that's my theory anyway. Dave Ford, hello to you. Ants in the compost heap, good or bad news, Richard? I would say that ants in the compost heap is bad news because what that demonstrates is that your compost heap has got a bit too dry. Ants like dry conditions, so and compost needs to be damp in order to rot down. If it's already rotted down, then it's not necessarily bad news. But if you're making it, that will come up in a tip a little bit later on, actually. Talking of tips, should we get through into my third tip? Now, when it comes to composting down on the allotment, one of the hardest things I found is getting enough brown material. Most composts, to make a good compost heap, need a mixture of green and brown materials. And greens are obviously things like grass clippings or foliage, anything that will basically rot down quite quickly. Brown material could be things like branches, the wooden branches, or wooden shavings I get from the chickens, which I have at home. On the allotment, I obviously don't have chickens, and there's only so many brown fittings or brown materials that I can find. But what I can get is lots of shredded paper, which I get from work. And whenever I get that, I throw that into the compost heap to make up for my brown materials. Now, that's just another way of recycling, of course, but also being able to produce better and more higher quality compost. So yes, I couldn't hear that one, but I think that was what I meant to take a picture of the shredded paper that I use on or throw into my compost heaps on the allotment, where brown materials such as tree branches or cardboard or wood shavings aren't so available. I found that this collection of shredded paper that tends to come from where we get parts delivered in boxes, and the paper is there to.
There's a lot of that shredded paper as well.
Do get a lot of it, don't we? We were using it for burning, but now I started using it on the allotment to help rot down. So yeah, that's one thing that composting is all about, a mix of greens and browns. Apologies if I'm sounding a bit like I'm teaching people how to suck eggs here. Green materials, things like lawn clippings, leaves, anything that you would call foliage, I guess, and it's fresh. And if you cut it and it dies, it withers away. Whereas your brown materials would pretty much be something that stays the same, such as cardboard, wood, egg cartons, shredded paper. Excuse me, sorry. I shouldn't drink coffee while on the show. But you want to get about an equal mix of each of these, and you want to ideally do it in a layer of green and layer of browns, layer of greens, layer of browns. In an ideal world, that is. The reality is it doesn't go that way. So I end up just bugging it all in and mixing it around. The theory is it works better that way, but I mean, if you mow the lawn or unless you're cutting down trees, you don't necessarily always have that same amount of material at the same amount of time. So yeah, and that's where I found this shredded paper has really just helped us out and got things working a bit better. Oh yes, I saw flying ants on my allotment heap yesterday. A few people were saying there was a lot of bugs around the other day. A lot of flying ants. Must be, there's one day a year when they call it Ant Day, don't they?
You weren't here when I found ours.
Oh, I weren't here. Oh, it was her.
I found them.
Amanda Joy, good evening to you. Evening all, I'm late to the party tonight. I definitely need these compost tips though. Well, you can always watch it back again to learn the tips as well. Idaho Gargoyle, I shred my paper and use it in my compost tumbler as well as my worm bin. Yeah, there we go.
I love the idea of a compost tumbler. I don't know why.
Just a thought. We make our own compost. This is from Ballycillian, so we know what is in it. Then we spread horse cow manure over a plot without knowing what the farmers and vets have treated the livestock with. That is a very good point, actually. Very good point. Or even there was a Digwell will probably be able to tell you the correct word because I can never pronounce it. Anamorpholite that is found within horse manure from where the horse has been eating the grass that have been treated with this type of weed killer, and that stops something like broad beans or broadleaf plants from growing. And that's quite a well-known thing. So that's definitely a very, very good point. And the only way I guess you could counteract that is by having your own horse, having your own sheep, having your own chickens. Well, we've got the chickens and we've got the quail, so we kind of got that. But
so are we getting a horse next or a sheep?
Where are we going to keep it? I mean, you nearly came home with a sheep the other day anyway. So
that was a while ago.
A while ago, so I don't know what you're saying. Alpaca could work.
A llama.
Yeah, Beatrice has said a very good point about that, Ballycillian. Yeah, I mean, here's my sort of thought on it. I think it's right to be concerned or wary about this or have it in the back of your mind. At the same time, you could start worrying a bit too much about it and worry about everything. That's the word I was looking for. Aminopyrrolide. Aminopyrrolide. That's the weed killer that stops, or as it should be, can you pronounce it?
Aminopyrrolide.
Aminopyrrolide. Oh, well, you make it sound so simple. Aminopyrrolide.
Sorry.
Yeah, that is, yeah, aminopyrrolide. Yeah, it's a weed killer that can be found within. I think if you know of an organic, or people who keep organic horses, then you're probably in a good chance. But it's a case of knowing your horse manure supplier. We need some rain here in the Midlands. It's not rained properly for a couple of weeks now. No, I said that on the podcast that'll be out tomorrow. We haven't had rain for a couple of weeks. An interesting point. Also worth thinking about: if you use animal manure, does that mean your veg are no longer suitable if you are vegan? That's a very good question. There was a podcast, Roots and All, with Sarah, who, when I was listening to that, she actually made a point of saying that not all compost is vegan if it's derived from, because horses are kept in, if they're kept for stables or whatever, it's not a natural environment for the horses.
But it's not that. If you have bees involved, then it's not vegan.
No.
So how can any of that be vegan?
Yeah, it's a in terms of manure and things like that. I think bees are doing what they normally do.
No, some vegans are really funny with what bees do because they're helping humans.
Yeah. I think there was a case with the, what do you call it, avocado farms out in South America, where they were bringing bees in on the back of traders to pollinate the avocados, and that, as far as they were concerned, was not vegan because it's humans interfering with the animals.
Oh, I've read it that if any bees are involved, it's not vegan.
Because that would eliminate most of our food stuff, most of our fruits, because they all require pollinating insects to pollinate them.
This is why I can't be a vegan.
Yeah, no, the vegan thing is a very complicated subject, I think. When you start looking at it, like Steve's pointed out, using animal manure, does that mean it's no longer suitable if you are vegan? And truth is, I think there's probably different people, different vegans have different levels of veganism. That's a conversation I didn't think we'll get into tonight, veganism. Shall we get my last tip over and done with, and then we've got a few more things coming up. So in these Dalek style compost bins, where everything's shredded up. I find heat is what helps make these compost bins work better. Now, to help this along and make it faster, I keep a thermometer in here, a composting thermometer, which tells me the temperature. And I keep a close eye on it. As soon as I start to see that temperature drop, what I then have to do is just use my pitchfork. I find a pitchfork is best for this, just to stir all the materials up in order to try and produce gets the heat back up again, and it starts the reactions from working quite nicely. Also gives me the chance just to see how everything is looking. If I feel it's looking a little bit damp, I might add some water to it in order to help the process along to the next stage as well. So there we go. That's a few tips that I have for you on composting today. Keep your tips coming in the chat, or call in, or zap yourself in. I look forward to hearing from you. So yeah, I think we mentioned this earlier about mixing up the compost. I've left it outside, but my pitchfork is very good for that. I have got a couple of other things which you may have seen videos of before that I've used for mixing compost, but I find the pitchfork just works best, in all honesty, because it's so big and you can get it right in there. And I think I also mentioned in that about just keeping your compost damp. I think that's the way to describe it: damp, not soaking wet, not dry, as we said earlier with the ants. If it's dry, that's when you're sure to get ants, but also that slows down the composting process. And the temperature thermometer, I got that temperature thermometer when I was at a garden show. They're not that expensive, but they're quite long, and I'll just leave it in there, keep an eye on the temperature, and then when it starts to drop, that's when I start to do the mix, and then it'll heat back up again. I was going to try and get air mixed into the compost as well, but it heats back up again, continues rotting down until it cools down, and start it again. I never thought to put thermometer in. Great tip. Yeah, I highly recommend. I mean, a composting thermometer is best because it tells you the good scales are on the dial instantly of the temperatures you want. Then you want it between 60, or was it between 40 and 80 degrees, something like that, off the top of my head. I don't really pay attention. I've just got a red scale on that thermometer, and I know that's where it should be. However, it's quite easy sometimes for compost to get hotter than that. There was many years ago, when I was probably going back 20 years ago, I was reading in a magazine, there was a greenhouse that was designed to have a compost bin on the side and used the heat off the compost bin to heat the greenhouse. And I remember thinking that sounds like a fantastic idea, but I never saw it again, and it obviously wasn't as good an idea as they thought it would be. Turbo Stream, has anyone tried to chop and drop direct on the borders as a composting layer? Yeah, right. So this is something that comes out of permaculture, a style of gardening, and the idea being you chop all your weeds and you just leave them where they are. A bit like hoeing. And I have done that, but what I found is because we've got quite a damp area here, it's very easy for those weeds to not die off or they get rooted again. So it depends what it is. Personally, I prefer bringing it back to a composting. It also looks quite messy, I think. But that's my experience. Other people might have different experience with that. Yes, I have topped up, but we'll now have to work out how to... Oh, there's a conversation going on there. So sorry I'm late. I've been busy in the garden. That's why Cornish Heaven. Hope you are well and your garden's doing well down in Cornwall. She's just been right. She's just moved down to Cornwall.
Nice. I've still never been to Cornwall.
It looks like Amanda doesn't have much to do with the composting, no.
Or the garden.
Or the garden. Apart from when she sits out there.
But I do come into contact with a lot of bushes and weeds exploring.
Yeah, it's a rubbish job. We're coming out with them all tonight. Victorians created hotbeds inside the greenhouse using a glorified compost heap. Yes, hotbeds inside the greenhouse. I think that's a. I know they used to do it inside the greenhouse. In fact, when we went to Westdean, they got the pineapple house, which was like a sunken but greenhouse, but they had like a moat around the outside that would fill with horse manure to allow the heat to go through into the greenhouse and warm up for the pineapples and things. So there is some logic to it, but I think you've got to. They had to keep on top of it. Obviously, the Victorians had huge states, and the boys just on minimum wage, if you could call it minimum wage, then to do that sort of thing, do all the shifting around.
Told you could have an orange ring.
Yeah, that's not quite the same thing. Plus, we haven't got a Victorian garden. I mean, the other thing as well, obviously the Victorians, they used horses a lot more. So horse manure was easily much more available back then compared to what we have now. And that's why I think we tend to use horse manure more than any other manure. That's my logic anyway.
Let's get rid of the car. Let's get a horse.
Yeah. Cornish is saying, come and visit.
Sweet.
We will do. We definitely will do one day. It sounds fantastic down there. Charles Dowding does it for his sea jumper. Yes, he does, doesn't he? He has a compost bin, but again, he's got quite a large compost or a large greenhouse. He has a compost bin in there that gives off a heat, and he put his seed trays on top. I tried having a compost bin inside my greenhouse. It didn't work. When I tried it, it didn't work for me anyway. So that's caught up with the comments and the tips. You've been learning stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm ever going to use it, but
No, but now you know what to do if I'm ever incapacitated for any reason. You know how to look after my garden.
Yeah. If that ever happens, I might be doing a live to ask if somebody would like to take it over.
Good point. So, anybody else got any other tips that they would like to share on how they compost? Anything that they found to be very, very useful? Now, you can call in on 07307 135 174, just like Oracle, just like Lee, or you can set yourself in on the link that is going up now in the chat, unless you're in the Facebook group, because of how Facebook works. On the note, because otherwise I'll get a telling off from both Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to follow, and don't forget to hit the notification to let you know when I go live. If I don't say that, I get told off by YouTube and Facebook, so I've covered myself there. I won't get a telling off this week.
Well, that's answered something I've always wondered why people said that.
Yeah, we get a telling off. Right. Are you hungry?
I might be.
Well, we have been lucky enough to have been sent a video from Turbo Stream, who's out there tonight, and he's been cooking a rather tasty sounding dish. Let's have a look and see what he's made for us.
Hash Turbo Stream style. So if you fry onions, peas, mixed peppers, some spinach I've got in there, there's some parboiled potatoes. This is a third of a tin of corned beef. That goes in halfway through cooking. And the added ingredients is a sprinkling of beef oxo cube. Only about a quarter of a cube, just adds a little bit of taste to the mixture. Well, we've added the corned beef now. We've added herbs, we've added black pepper, we've added salt. We've added a quarter of a cube of beef oxo to give it a bit of kick. So that'll fry off nicely. You could of course use any green leaf vegetables. You could use, I'm using frozen spinach, you could use beetroot tops. This is the one causing the noise. It's Poppy from over the back. We can use lots of stuff. Just throw it all in, that's what I say. And this is the meal nearly finished. We've added a fried egg to go on top. Turbo Stream's corned beef hash. And there we have it. Turbo's Dreams corned beef hash, fried egg on top. Comfort food at its best.
Well, thank you very much, Thomas. What a great little video that was, I've got to say. I love it when people send in the videos, especially when it's cooking, because it gives me the idea. Now, we have cooked this in advance for tonight's show.
No, you cooked it.
I cooked it in advance. I have to admit, I did forget a couple of things, which is my own fault. I forgot the onion and I forgot the oxo cube, but the idea is there. I also added a lot of peas to ours, but that's because I'm trying to lose weight. And so, do you want to grab yourself a fork and give it a try? I like the idea of adding the eggs as well. Go on.
You go first.
So, I want to make sure I get a bit of everything in this.
Do you want to take the bowl with you?
Right. You're falling off the fork. Come here. Right, there we go. Raised it up and a bit fell off. Let's give it a try. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice. I'm going to grab a bit more of that.
I think it needed the onion.
I think it needs a onion.
But other than that, I like it. I can't believe you forgot the onion.
No, I can't believe I've got the onion. I think I'll definitely be doing that again. That's delicious.
I wonder what else you could put in it that instead of the corned beef bit.
Probably do ham or something. I mean, I've got to admit, corned beef has gone up in price.
Is it?
Yeah. I was looking at it today. I thought corned beef, it used to be £1 a tin, wasn't it?
That corned beef is also not what corned beef looks like in America as well.
No. I think they have
There's this more proper sliced meat.
sliced. Yeah, which you can actually get from the deli counter here in the UK, but it's the same thing.
I like that.
Same thing. I like it very much. But yeah, that tin was the cheapest I could find in Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available. It was £2 for that.
Pardon?
£2 for that tin. It's gone up a hell of a lot in price.
Oh, I suppose we've got to get it from Argentina.
Good point. Now, Idaho Garden Girl says it looks yummy. It is. It really is.
It's very good. But I do think it needs the onion, and that's it. I think that was really good.
Sounds like the cat is hungry. Yeah. Beatrice is saying it looks yummy, Turbo Stream. Yeah, it really is. Ian Beddoes, never made it with peppers. I quite like having peppers with it. I think it's one of those dishes that you could probably add anything to, a bit like bubble and squid.
Yeah, but I think we've made corned beef hash before, and it was all right. But that is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really, really, really like that. You can alter the hash to suit what veggies you have to hand. If you want to go veggie, then add baked beans instead. Oh, yeah, that's an idea.
I'm now thinking that if we made American baked beans, that would go even better. Because their baked beans are different to ours.
What's different about American baked beans? She spent before. Apologies to Idaho while I'm asking her. You're obviously going to be better, but she spent a year living in
Indiana.
So
they just tasted different, but I can't remember what the difference is. But they're not the same as like Heinz beans in a can.
Oh,
I know they're cooked on the stove.
Is it more their homemade beans?
Yeah, but they don't taste remotely the same.
Yeah,
I think they're a lot spicier and they just don't taste as tomatoey as those ones.
No, I think homemade baked beans, when I haven't made them for you, I don't think, but when I've made homemade baked beans, they taste so much better than anything from a tin.
I'm thinking next time you make meatloaf, I make American beans.
Yeah, Americans don't have tomato sauce.
American beans.
Yeah. Is that right?
I don't remember them being tomatoey.
Right, okay. I think Ian Beddoes has spent some time over in America as well, so are they a bit more smoky?
I think so. I've only had them once.
Interesting.
If we were talking biscuits and gravy, I can talk that all day long.
I mean, really, we should be asking this to. Here we go.
She's coming.
Baked beans seem to have lots of brown sugar.
Yeah, they're really sweet.
Well, this might be something we're going to have to look at cooking or trying on a live show once in the not too distant future. Excuse me. But yeah, perhaps we could cook that. If anybody has made it themselves and would like to send in a video that I could, or even just a recipe.
Or any other recipes that you think we should have a go at.
Yeah, anything like that. Just because it makes good content for the show.
And we like eating very random things.
We're very expensive. As long as there's no mushrooms. That's my only thing I cannot do is mushrooms. Because...
Yeah, but we can always take the mushrooms out.
We can take the mushrooms out. I've got a mushroom allergy, and it's. I know she wants to get rid of me sometimes, but I don't think she wants it that way.
Anyway, carry on.
Ian Meadows, Denny's dinner rolls are the thing I really miss.
I don't think I ate a Denny's.
No. Sometimes people use maple syrup to sweeten the baked beans. Oh, so they're quite a sweet. Yeah. They're quite sweet baked beans.
And they're darker. They're not red.
Interesting. I'm gonna try them and see what we get.
I miss the Italian breadsticks when you go to a pizza place. Anyway.
Is anyone else thinking of blazing saddles?
You know how we should make those beans? You know, with that pot thing. That the
Dutch oven. Yeah. I altered the recipe so I can cook it in my camper van. I only have 2 gas rings to cook on.
That was a good recipe.
Yeah. That is funny at Ian Beddoes. What is funny at Ian Beddoes? Denny's diner.
Wasn't the Blazing Saddles? Oh, no.
This was a Blazing Saddles. Yeah, which was from Digwell. So, yeah. USA don't have runner beans, so I'm told by my friend, as her daughter is coming over and loves them.
I don't remember seeing runner beans. They do a lot of French beans.
They do a lot of or pole beans, they sometimes call them, or green beans, don't they?
Yeah, but then green beans are the same
runner beans, they probably use like cannellini and I don't know, like the dried beans. I don't know why.
Yeah, but green beans, those are the ones that you stick through that thing and then they split, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know why we're trying to tell an American person what they eat and not. I mean, sorry, Ida. I apologise for everyone. I mean, it was Blazing Saddles. That was funny.
I like American food.
I know. I quite like American food as well.
I like green bean casserole.
Denny's dinner rolls. That is funny to me. I've got to say, Blazing Saddles, I've never seen. So I don't. Is there a joke about that?
But I'm thinking Blazing Saddles, isn't that a Western?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm guessing it's a Western, and I'm guessing they eat beans and stuff on there. But who knows? I always thought it was baked beans, to be honest. It came in the tin. That's why the Cowboys ate it.
No.
Well, just goes to show I got a lot to learn. Turbo steam. I prefer French beans. I am letting my runner beans go to seed for dried beans this year. Yes, you've mentioned that a few times actually, that you're letting your runner beans go to seed. I keep trying, or I've done in the past, haven't done so much this year, is the cannellini beans or the Belotti beans for drying. Next year, I'm definitely going to be doing that and growing lots of them.
Well, as long as it's not broad beans.
Well, we're going to be having broad beans as well. I know you don't like broad beans, but I do. But I grow those over winter because it uses up the space when it's unavailable.
Well, can you just grow any other bean?
Yeah, we'll grow loads of beans. It is a satire comedy, Blazing Saddles.
Oh.
Look for YouTube for Blazing Saddles bean seed.
Right, we'll do.
Oh, hang on. That's not when they're all sat around the campfire eating beans and passing wind. Is that what happens? because if it is, then I might have seen that, but I thought it was on another film. But now you're saying that might be. We'll see if anybody comes up and lets me know. Ian Meadows, Blazing Saddles. They eat beans around a campfire, and then yes, yeah, that is a scene. I have seen that scene. Then
I haven't.
I have. I'm not much of a video person. I tend to listen more than things. So that's why I've missed out on that. Ian, broad beans are okay in a stew. I like broad beans. I like them in that stuff I made from Digwell's recipe, the hummus. Yeah.
Did you like your hummus?
It was nice.
Yeah.
I didn't eat it all.
No.
But I liked that. Yep, you got it. Thank you. So, should we have a look at some photos that have been posted in the group? We've been a little bit quiet on the photos this week.
That's because everyone's been out in the garden.
I know, exactly. Everyone's been out in the garden. But never mind, because what we have got here, potatoes. Now, this came in.
Those are good potatoes.
They are good potatoes. This came from Steve, who's watching tonight. Harvested these from his allotment and said that although the foliage died back with blight, the actual potatoes are looking pretty good. They do look quite a nice size, don't they?
They look great.
Yeah. And this is his garden plot. I visited about a year ago now, maybe longer than that. I really must get over there. He's only in Lancing, so I must get over there and do have a look around his garden. Till COVID, he didn't garden at home. He only had his allotment. Now he's probably doubled his growing space without growing at home. This came in from David, who I don't know if he's watching tonight. He usually is. He's been getting tomatoes, and I think he's jealous, very jealous, because a lot of people haven't been able to get tomatoes.
Nope.
Chilies, yummy. They look tasty, don't they?
Yeah. I want to stuff them with cheese.
This looks like raspberries in his raspberry bed.
It's funny, that's not what I saw when I saw that.
No, what did you see?
I saw a fence I need to climb over.
No, I can just see there's a yellow raspberry just up in the corner.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Nasturtiums and a marrow.
Nice.
Nice.
Like a good marrow.
I don't really do marrows. I don't like marrows. I prefer courgettes myself. Some more chilies.
They look good.
Yeah, they do look good, those ones. More. It's just made us jealous with those tomatoes. All ours have died off. Oh, and even more tomatoes.
Yay.
Sunflowers. I haven't grown any sunflowers this year. What else have we got? And this is his last one, I know that. The spring onions.
Nice.
Doing quite well. I do like spring onions as well. They've grown pretty well here. So yeah, don't forget, if you want to send your photos in, you can send them to me, Richard at theveggrowerpodcast.co.uk, or you can post them in the Facebook group, or you can just send them to me via social media. So let's have a quick look at the comments. Idaho is saying she's never eaten broad beans.
Not missing much.
I would say you are missing out. I think we call them broad beans, actually. I think you call them fava beans. Just that might make you know what they are a bit better. Great looking potatoes. They were good looking potatoes, weren't they? Lush garden. Yeah, very lush garden. And here's the man himself with those potatoes and garden, saying always welcome. I must come over and sort something out.
Some tomatoes.
No, that was David with the tomatoes.
Sorry.
Nice tomatoes. Yeah. Great looking tomatoes.
We're all jealous of these tomatoes.
Yeah. Lowe's tatties are better than mine. Okay. Chilies, absolutely. Adrian, I love broad beans and also red kidney beans. I regularly have 2 cans of red kidney beans for lunch. Nice. I've the best ever year for potatoes. So if anyone has any good new potato recipes, much appreciated. Corned beef hash uses potatoes, so I can put that one forward. It's been a good year for potatoes, although I think it would have been better if it wasn't for the blight. I think we could have had better potatoes. Well, look at those tomatoes. Yeah, they were fantastic. Nice sunflowers. Great looking spring onions. I will send pics of my tomatoes and peppers and chilies. Please do. It'd be great. And jealous of tomatoes, but have managed to salvage a lot of them. Loads at Wisley and some clever ideas for growing them.
Right, we're all going to Wisley to nick tomatoes.
Yeah. I think this year's just been so difficult. The weather really has gone against us for tomatoes, and blight has caused so many issues. I was chatting to Lucy Chamberlain on Thursday up at Gardener's World, and she's kind of known as the veg princess, veg queen. Because that's like me, so that's all she really grows. And I was chatting to her. We were almost in tears talking about our tomatoes because it's so upsetting. Hate the fact that I've never had a year where I've not really produced any outdoor tomatoes. First year it's happened. But it does make you realise, if you think the Irish potato famine, just how severe that happened. Here we are moaning about our tomatoes we can still eat. Just adding some relationship to it. I second corned beef hash. Of course you did. Of course you do. And Digwell saying for Amanda, I think there's something to follow. We'll see what happens. See what comes up in a moment for you.
An air raid shelter?
An air raid shelter. I'm dreading what if I find one underneath our patio. You're going to be really made up, aren't you?
Yeah, because I know there's going to be 2 people in it.
I'll be using it. I'll be putting that back into full use. Parsnip, potato, and apple soup is another one that I cook in the winter. Please make a video and we'll cook that as well.
I like apple and butternut squash soup.
That is nice.
That sounds even better.
Yeah, I do like apple there. I do like butternut squash in any soup as well. Wisley has its show soon. Yes, it is. I think it's this week, isn't it? Or soon. But I think it's when I'm on call again. Hence why I had to go to Gardener's World on Thursday. Well, actually, I probably wouldn't have gone today because I have to be back for the live show. And
you could have done it while I was driving home.
Yeah, that's an
idea.
idea.
Could be live in the car.
Not if I get invited to the after party.
Could have done 3 hours of live in the car.
Yeah. Not if I get invited to the after party. I can't do it. Sorry, link didn't work. Can you email me the link then, please, Digwell, and I'll pass it on to her. That'd be fine. Do you show cooking videos on YouTube? There you go. There's an idea for you, Turbo Stream, to start showing your cooking videos, just like Digwell does his cooking videos as well, which I highly recommend. About the 5th. Yeah, that's this week. When the parsnips are ready, I will do a video. I think we're going to get good parsnips this year, actually.
Oh, thank God.
Because our foliage is huge.
It's not Christmas dinner without parsnips.
Luckily, we have got plenty of parsnips in the Christmas dinner bed, along with carrots. We've harvested peas. The onions are out from the Christmas dinner bed. The potatoes, the non-blight resistant variety, have pretty much died back. But the potatoes grew too big in a Christmas dinner bed that they smothered everything else. So I won't be doing that again. Lesson learned. Full air raid shelter under Dad's old house. We knocked ours down. That was on the drive to build the garage. Let's have a look. I enjoy Digwell's cooking videos. I do too. Yeah, I do enjoy Digwell's cooking videos. So what have we got coming up this week on the Veg Grower podcast? So I have got the audio review of Gardener's World Live special edition that I went to on Saturday. In that, I've got an interview with Lisa Mary, I can't pronounce her surname, who created Nature's Resilience. If you saw Gardener's World on Friday night, her garden was featured in that quite a bit. So I chatted to Lisa. I think Adam Frost was stood by the side of it talking about it. Have a lot going on with that garden. There's also another young lady that Nigel ran up and said I must interview because she created a I want to call it a medicinal bed, and everything in that bed had medicinal properties, but she didn't say you could use it because she's not a medical practitioner. And this is going, some of her stuff was going right back to Greek times, what they would use. So it's quite interesting that. What else? Who else did I chat to? I've got Lucy and Saul, which will probably be right at the end. Because they're on the Plant and Texpert stand, I wanted to find out what questions they had coming in throughout the day and what kind of seemed to be the most common questions. Lucy and Saul, and there was a couple more. I can't remember. Oh, chatted to the mulch guy. That was good. I think that's it. But obviously that'll be out on Monday night, or Monday night here in the UK. Then I've also got a little video that I've been putting together. I struggle with making videos these days, purely because of the time it takes to shoot them and edit them. So what I've decided I'm going to do is just make like a diary to put out once a week, and it might be every day almost, shooting a little video just sharing what I've been up to and little bits like that, so I can get a video out at least once a week. That's the idea, and that is coming out later on this week. Digwell was saying bless you guys after all the love he's getting for his videos. You're most welcome. They are good videos. I have just bought some Charlotte potatoes to grow for Christmas dinner. I tried that last year, but I like my roast potatoes. I wasn't keen on having new potatoes on our dinner, were we?
When do we have them?
Last year we did it. We had roast potatoes, we had new potatoes.
Did we?
Yeah. I prefer my roasties.
Oh, but then we forgot the red cabbage that was in the microwave.
Yeah. Did you look at sending your seeds to us? Yeah. Yes, this is in Northern Ireland. I am still trying to get my head around the legal ramifications because I'm not selling seeds. I think there's a bit of a grey area. That means I could, but at the same time, the EU doesn't like things coming in. I think if I was sending...
You just said they're Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Northern Ireland has the restrictions as if sending to the EU at the moment because of the Brexit deal that was...
Oh, okay.
So it's created a real... That's why Northern Ireland is struggling to get any vegetable or plant seeds this year, because they've had this massive blockade gone up, stopping us the only way I can describe it. So to try and send them, I can send them. The sad thing is, I've got a member down in Guernsey, and I can send them to her with no problems. And that's not in the EU. It's not technically in the UK or something. Sending them to Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK, is problematic. But what I would do, I'm going to keep looking and trying to find the loopholes that would allow me to do it, as long as it doesn't mean I'll get into trouble, end up in prison, and she gets her wish of me getting out of the house.
But can you take them in person on the ferry?
I don't think you can technically, because it's biodynamic, trying to prevent pests and diseases coming in, which I do understand. It's like a...
yeah, but the only thing that's changed is the paperwork. It's still the same.
It's still the same. I know.
That's bonkers.
I know. Do you need a plant passport for seeds? Technically, yes, you do need a plant passport if you are selling seeds, which is, it's all about basically bit traceability more than anything. Even sending them in the UK, you've got to have this plant passport, and they've got to be able to trace them. It's basically a load of paperwork, and it's something I have to do anyway in order to issue plant passports. It's so complicated. We also have a pillbox just down the road, and we are next to a barrage balloon repair site as well. There you go. That's something for you. That sounds so interesting. What was that? No, the podcast. That is hopefully it's going to be interesting, isn't it? If you had good gardening shows over here, I would probably watch TV. This is what led me to YouTube. I was looking for gardening shows. I think I don't really watch TV anymore. We're actually seriously considering, or we're going to be getting rid of our TV. I don't watch much YouTube, but we watch more YouTube. We stream stuff. So.
Oh, I watch a lot of YouTube.
You do, but I don't. I'm more an audio person. I try to, but yeah. Talking of Christmas, if you listen to media, turkeys will be in short. Don't know if true. Yeah, I've heard
We've
that.
Had that
We've had that conversation as well. 99% sure you can send them because you are a club. That's Digwell. That's what I think as well. It's that 1% that I'm a bit unsure of and trying to get a definite answer about. It really is complicated, and it doesn't need to be. Hello, Richard and Amanda. I hope you are both well. Very well, thank you. I don't know who that is. You're in the Facebook group. Could be anybody. Lots of people talking about food shortages over here. I have not seen it yet. Actually, there's a lot of food shortages going on over here. I've noticed. Went into a supermarket today, and the shelves are empty. But this is all down to lorry drivers and things.
I might become one.
Yeah,
I've considered it.
Yeah. Traceability of paying for farmers. Yeah, this is a trouble. It's all paperwork, and it takes up a lot of time just doing the paperwork. More than anything, I think. Would you watch that Gardener show on? Not on TV. To be honest, I watched it last night.
No, I watched it on
Friday night. But to be honest, I don't really watch Gardener's World anymore. I don't watch TV. You know, used to, but I've just gone off it now. I mean, I like Gardener's World. I'd like a few other of the gardening programs, but there's a lot of faults I find with it, which I feel YouTube actually gets better at, because it can get. I heard Monty on another podcast today saying that he's on hard clay, and when he gets people asking about dry sand and stuff like that other people garden on, he's not really qualified to try and answer, which is, he's recognised the fault, but the BBC won't do anything about it. I did say that. It's Sharon, my cousin. Hello, Sharon. Hope you are well. I got rid of a TV license as YouTube is much better. Things like this are way better than TV. Thanks, Richard. Well, that's very kind of you to say so. You need to speak to the Ministry of Agriculture. Just give them a call and they will put you right.
Sorry, I suddenly started thinking 1984. The Ministry.
The Ministry of Agriculture I've contacted, and it's also a bit woolly.
Of course it is. It's a government department.
Yeah. I don't watch TV. That's why I asked. No, that's fine. Papers today said Waitrose earning £53,000 per year.
Yeah, I just don't know how to drive a truck.
Somebody sent me a message. You can find Gardener's World on YouTube, not officially though.
You can find most things.
You can find most things. What else have we got? YouTube. Beach Grove Garden is better and for grown veg. Yeah, again, I've not seen much of that, but I know it is better for vegetable gardening and what have you. Well, guess what? We've come to the end of the show. It's been a good one, hasn't it? Well, I think it has. I don't know about you.
Oh, I just thought we're just carrying on. It's bank holiday.
No, it is a bank holiday, but my throat is starting to go, and I've got things to do before going to bed. I'm getting a bit tired as well. Somebody woke me up in the middle of the night.
That was your phone making a weird buzzing noise.
True. Anyway, that is it for this week's podcast. We'll be back again next Sunday. I'll be back again next Sunday, I should say. And what I've got on my list is I've got gardening and health or seed saving. Amanda, let's carry on. All right, fine. Right, see you later.
I don't know how to switch it off.
No.
We'd still be here at midnight.
Yeah. Anyway, next week I'm going to do seed saving. I'm going to discuss seed saving. I need to have a word with somebody who I want to get on the show about gardening and health. That's why I'm holding that one back. But seed saving is what we're going to be doing next week. Anybody has any videos or anything to do with seed saving, any photos, please do send them in and we can feature those in next week's show.
So I can't send any in of abandoned buildings then?
No. So what have we got in the comments just before we get out of here? I am lucky from Adrian. That is a lot more than me. Amanda, let's carry on. Great stream. I enjoyed the show, and it's good to see Amanda. That it is good to see her. Well,
I like to pop in.
It's nice to pop in
every now and then.
Next week's topic, Richard, seed saving, which is actually coming into just the right time to start doing. Bye, Richard and Amanda from Adrian. Goodbye, Adrian. Please take care. Thank you. Great show. Really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed it as well. I have, anyway.
It went very quickly.
Yeah. Cheers and have a good bank. Oh, it's a bank holiday. I'm on call, so I forget it's a bank holiday. Cheers, both of you. Great show again. Thank you, Ian. Digwell, stay safe, everyone. Yep, you too, buddy. Great. No, nothing about it. Great. No, nothing about it. Oh, seed saving. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get through it. Yes, Amanda, if they've been turned into greenhouses for your thing. There you go. Right, guys. Until next time, please take care, stay safe, and happy gardening.